Hello and welcome to the lecture series on power semiconductor controllers. In this lecture, we would be discussing about the AC transients in a power converter circuit. So basically, we would be focusing on circuits which produce a power converter circuit which produce an output which is which has got some part of it sinusoidal in nature, and that is given to a DC load, and how the current behaves in that particular case we would try to analyze it. So let us start. Let us start with taking this general circuit. We have got a network which consists of some power sources and resistances, and then we have an inductor L here. So we can convert this network which has got sources and resistance into its equivalent, Thevenin equivalent. We can replace this network by a voltage and in series with a resistance, and this L is there in its place. So basically we have reduced this circuit, this network, into this simpler circuit, and we will try to analyze this circuit. So the basic aim is to obtain the waveform of current that would be flowing through this R and L. So that would become our that would be the basis for analyzing the converter circuits and to analyze the transients that would be present in those circuits. Okay, so let's start by writing down the KVL equation for this particular circuit. So let us assume that IT is the current that is flowing in this circuit. Then we can write down L dIT by dt plus RIT is equal to V. So this V, it could be any waveform, it could be any function of time, okay, and this V is also called a forcing function for a single first order differential equation. Okay, for our analysis we will assume that this V is some function of time t, and later on we will consider this Vt to be equal to Vm sin omega t, which is normally the source voltage that is available to the power converter. Okay. So in this situation, we know that since this is a first order differential equation, then the current IT, it consists of steady state solution and the transient part of the solution. Okay. So if you go by solving a first order linear differential equation, you will find that the general procedure to solve it is to find the steady state part by keeping this forcing function there itself in the equation, and then also adding to it the transient part by removing this forcing function from it. So we will first try to find out the transient expression for the current. Okay. So for that we will assume that this forcing function is 0. So under this circumstance, let me divide the whole equation by R. So I get L upon R dIT by dt plus IT equal to 0, or, and this L by R is tau, the time constant. This is tau. So dIT by and let me bring this term IT here on the right side and then bring it as the denominator here. So IT will come here, and this is equal to minus of this dt term will go on the right side, and then tau will come here. So if I try to integrate this expression, I will get IT equal to on the right side, if I try to differentiate it, I will get minus t by tau, and here let me write it down, ln it. So this plus some constant c, this is the constant of integration. So finally I will get expression of it as it equals to e to the power minus t by tau plus c. So which can be written as k times e to the power minus t by tau. So this is the transient part of the solution of this equation, and we could easily say here that as time passes, this term reduces to 0, and it reduces exponentially. Okay. So this is the transient part. Let us now try to solve for the steady state part of the equation. So I have drawn this part here, you could see here, this is the transient part, and it starts from some point. For that we need to have some initial condition which we will put in our circuit, okay, after some time, and we'll find out this value, and it will exponentially decay like this. Okay, so let me write this expression here, it equals to k times e to the power minus t by tau. So let me erase it. Now there are two ways to find out the steady state expression for the current IT. So one is by going through the mathematical way of analyzing the circuit, first order differential equation, by considering some solution for it, and then finding out some of the unknown parameters that we will put in that circuit. But we will go by a more easier method, and which is by converting this circuit into what we call frequency domain, and trying to find out IT. So basically this IT from the circuit here, and let me assume now that this V is equal to Vm sin omega t, which is the normal input which is given to a converter. So IT equals to Vm sin omega t divided by, so the impedance. So impedance is R plus j omega L. Now I can write this as Vm sin omega t upon, so I can write this R plus j omega L is in Cartesian form. I can write it in polar form because it is division here, so better to write this R plus j L in polar form. So that would be R plus R square plus omega square L square and root over. So this gives me the magnitude for this. This is basically a complex number, and there would be some angle. Let me call that angle as phi, and this phi would be given by, phi would be tan inverse omega L upon R from here. So that means this is Vm upon, so let me call this R square plus omega L whole square as, let me represent it as Z square, So this root over of this would be magnitude of z, and let me bring this phi above here. So this is sine omega t minus phi. So this is the steady state expression for the current for this particular circuit. So if I am interested in finding out the complete expression, so I have to add this steady state and this transient expression to get the final expression for the current flowing in the circuit. So let me write it down here. So finally IT, which is the solution of this equation of this circuit, the current flowing in this circuit, is equal to the steady state current Vm upon Z sine omega t minus phi plus this term k times e to the power minus t upon tau. Okay. Now you could see here that k is an unknown in this expression, and we can find it out by using the initial condition. So at time t equals to 0, you could see here that say for example there would have been a switch here, and at t equals to 0 it is closed, then at that instant the current that would be flowing in the circuit would be equal to 0. So basically this I is equal to 0 at this instant. Okay. Okay, so if that is the case, then if I put this I equal to 0 at the time t equal to 0, so this becomes 0 equals to Vm by Z, and this is sine omega t becomes 0, so this is minus phi plus k e to the power minus t by tau. So from here, and again this t is 0 here, so basically this is e to the power 0. So I can get the value of k equal to Vm by Z sine phi. So finally I can write down the expression for the current as, so I have just to replace this k here with this value, which is Vm by Z sine phi e to the power minus t by tau. Okay. So let us see how this current waveform looks like. So I have drawn it here. This is your Vm, the input voltage, and this is ISS, the steady state current. You could see here there is a phase difference between the current and the voltage, and that is your phi. So current is lagging the voltage because of the presence of this inductor L, and this is the transient current. So if I add these two, I will get the current IT here. Okay. So adding these two, and this, what is this value? This value is Vm by Z sine phi. Okay. And if I try to put omega t equals to 0, so at the instant t equals to 0, you could see here this value is nothing but minus Vm at t equals to 0, this value of ISS, if I consider only this part, so this will be equal to minus Vm by Z sine phi. So these two, if they add up, if these two add up, will give you 0. So the current starts from 0 and reaches a maximum value which is greater than the peak value of the steady state current, and basically I am adding these two currents. So finally this is the waveform. So the duration till here will be having a prominent appearance of the transient in the current, and since after this time the transient has died down, so the resultant current would be similar to the steady state current. So with this background knowledge, let us now take up the case of power converters, and let us analyze the circuit for a power converter, and I will take up rectifiers for our analysis. Okay. So let me start with a very simple circuit. We have this bridge rectifier, and say this is a single phase uncontrolled bridge rectifier, and it is feeding an RL load. So there are two cases. Case 1, when this rectifier is a half wave rectifier, and the second case is when this is a full wave rectifier. Okay. So let me try to plot the waveforms first, then we will analyze the expressions, the equation for current and voltage. So this is the input voltage waveform. Let me draw it for the next half cycle also. So this is becoming 0 at pi, this is 2 pi, the peak value is Vm, and this is the input voltage Vs. Let me now try to draw the current that would be, let me first take the half wave. So for half wave, the output voltage would look like this. Okay. So this is the output voltage that will appear across this RL load. What about the current? So we have already seen that if this type of waveform is given to the RL circuit, so although it is not full sinusoidal, only half part of it is sinusoidal, but we can take the expression of current that we derived in the previous case here also. So current will start from 0 and it will go and reach a maximum value here, and after this point, so you could see that the voltage across RL has reduced to 0. So that means in the half wave case, let me take it first, the half wave case, the circuit basically after pi would be like this. So R and L are there, R and L, and there is no source. Okay. So in this, if this is the case, then current will fall to 0. Okay. And this current expression, this IT or I omega t, whatever you like to call I omega t, so it would be same as what we derived in case of the previous circuit, that is I omega t. So in place of t I can write omega t is equal to Vm by Z sine omega t minus phi plus, then we had Vm by Z again here, and this was sine phi e to the power minus, in place of t I can write omega t here. Okay. Or I can just a matter of what variable I am taking, with whether I am taking on the x-axis the angles in radian or I am taking it time. So I can take here as t by tau. Okay. So this is the expression of this current. Okay. So from this point to this point, this is beta, and current is falling to 0 in this region. Okay. So now the expression that we have derived for the current will not be valid for this case, because I omega t here, the expression for current would be different, because now we are having this type of circuit. Okay. So this is basically you could see here that current is I t, and this is basically RL circuit without any source. Okay. So we can obtain the expression for current here. So let me write down the current L di by dt plus IR is equal to 0. So di by I is equal to minus R dt by L, and if I integrate it on both sides, so this is ln I, and I will be from some initial value, say IL, and till t is equals to minus RT by L. Okay. So I have assumed here that I am trying to solve the equation for t equals to 0 from here. Okay. So I could have taken t from say pi to some value t, that is also possible, but let me take like this, there is no issue with it. Just I have to keep in mind that I am taking t equal to 0 at the instant when omega t is pi. Okay. So from here you could see that I can write it, sorry, this is I. So I upon IL is equal to e to the power minus RT by L. So I equals to IL times e to the power minus RT by L. This is exponentially decaying current. Okay. Exponentially decaying current. So this waveform is not exactly like this, it would be exponentially decaying current. Okay. Similarly, in the next cycle also we would be having the current increasing and then finally settling to 0 at say 2 pi plus beta. So this is 2 pi, that would be 2 pi plus beta. So this is the case when I am assuming that we have got a half wave rectifier, and that we have value of inductance is low enough to have a discontinuous conduction mode, wherein the current through the load is falling to 0 at an instant beta. Okay. So I hope you do understand why I am taking the voltage 0 after pi. So basically I have considered a circuit, a half wave rectifier circuit, which looks somewhat like this. So we have a diode here, and this is a RL load, and we have another diode here. Okay. So this diode turns on in this duration from pi to 2 pi when the voltage reverses. Okay. So this voltage becomes equal to 0 since diode is conducting, it short circuiting this load while current is flowing through this, and this diode will be turned off during the interval pi to 2 pi. Now let us take a case where I have got this half wave rectifier, but this diode is not present. So this circuit and this diode that was earlier present is not there. So in that case, what will happen after pi? Now the current won't be following this expression after omega t equals to pi. Rather, it would be following this same expression for the current. Okay. So now the current would look somewhat like this, and voltage will also be appearing across the load. Okay. Is it fine? So you know that diode cannot turn off unless and until two conditions are met. The first condition is that there is a reverse polarity, although there is a reverse polarity here in the negative half cycle, but still it is conducting, because the second, which is a necessary condition for the diode to conduct, is that the current through the diode should also fall to 0, which is not the case here. So we could see that at pi some current, finite current is flowing through the inductor, and inductor cannot allow the current to suddenly drop to 0. It will eventually cause the current to reduce down, okay, and finally it reaches 0 at the point beta. Similarly here also. So this is the type of waveform that would be obtained in this type of circuit. So you have to be quite clear about which type of power converter circuit you are dealing with, and you have to draw the corresponding waveform accordingly, okay, and you need to have good understanding about the expression of the current that would be flowing in the various parts of the circuit. Okay, fine. Now let us take the case wherein we have got value of L high enough to cause this current to be continuous. Okay. So let us take that case. So under that situation, okay, so current is again following this expression, and now we have the value of L high enough to ensure that there is continuous conduction. So current will be falling, but it will reach this point, okay. Just see the output voltage in the negative half cycle would appear, okay. So this is a case wherein L is very large, because we are basically concerned with understanding the transients that would be present in the power converter circuit. So that's why I have taken this case. So when again this voltage becomes positive, so again it starts increasing, and finally it would be varying between two finite values, some minimum value here and some maximum value here, okay. Now take another case. In that case, I am assuming that the circuit is a fully controlled, uncontrolled but full wave rectifier. So this is your circuit. So in this case, the output voltage would look like this. Okay. So in this case also you could see that we would have a continuous type of current that would be flowing in the circuit. Okay. Although the waveform of the current flowing here from pi to 2 pi would now be different from what we had obtained here, because now we have got a rectified sine wave. Okay. So in order to solve the equation, what we have to do, we have to write down the expression as L di by dt plus Ri equals to minus Vm sine omega t. So this would be our starting equation to determine the waveform of the current that would be flowing between pi and 2 pi. Definitely we have to find out the value of current at the end of this positive half cycle at omega t equals to pi, and that would be the initial value of the current in the cycle pi to 2 pi, and that would be used in this equation. Okay. Fine. Now let us take a controlled rectifier now. So in controlled rectifier we have got thyristors in place of diode, and we can turn on the thyristors at a desired angle. So let me assume that we are firing on the SCR at an angle alpha. So after alpha until pi and till the circuit conducts, the output voltage and input voltage would be same. Okay. So what about the current? Now current would be increasing like this, and say it goes down to this point, and say this is a point beta. Again from value pi plus alpha, which is this value, again SCR is fired, current again increases and comes to 0 at pi plus beta. So this is the case when there is discontinuous conduction in the load. Okay. So you could see that current is 0 for the duration